why I became a lawyer. I'm gonna keep it 100. Matlock. Television show Matlock. Andy Griffin. After he did the Andy Griffin show, he did another show called Matlock. And I loved it. He was a lawyer based out of Atlanta who represented people charged with crimes. He always wore a light blue seersucker suit. And he had either Tyler or Conrad as an investigator. And he was always flirting with the other prosecutor, with the prosecutor that he was going up against. Even though he was in Atlanta, he still had that small town feel to it. I'm not sure if he was supposed to be in a county surrounding Atlanta, surrounding Fulton County. I don't know. But Matlock. Another part of that, though, is my mother. My mother. So when I was young, I grew up as a military brat. I lived all over Hawaii, Japan, Las Vegas, Belgium, graduated high school in Los Angeles. But when I was very young, like 6 years old, I remember my mom telling me, she said it, she put it into me. She said, you're either going to be a doctor, lawyer, or engineer. Doctor, lawyer, or engineer. Doctor, lawyer, engineer. Doctor, lawyer, engineer. Anesthesiologists, they make consistently the most money, you know. But doctor, lawyer, engineer. And I was like, man, I don't know about this medical stuff. And I didn't know what engineering did. I didn't go to a college where there were engineers. I wonder if Sam Houston has an engineering program now. I don't know. But very early on, people used to say, Brandon, you like to argue, so you should be an attorney. So Matlock, coupled with my mom having attorney as an option, coupled with a lot of people saying you should be an attorney because you like to argue, that solidified it. You should be an attorney. So I said, I'm going to be an attorney. So what did that mean? It meant that I knew I wasn't done with school at different stages, which is a game changer. Because we all know for some people, high school, that's it. They go to high school and that's the accomplishment. They're done. They're done with school and they go out and they start working. That wasn't my case. For some people, the accomplishment was college. Okay, boom, college. I did that. I fulfilled that. I met that goal for myself. I'm done with school. I knew I never get my college graduation. I remember I told my dad last minute. I told him last minute. Like I was in Texas. He was in the neighboring state, New Mexico, in Albuquerque. I was like, hey, Dad, I'm graduating. He's like, what? And I gave him like a week's notice, maybe 2, but I think it was a week's notice. But him, my stepmom, my brothers and sisters, they came down. And my mom was down there too. But the reason I told him last minute wasn't me trying to be stupid or nothing. It was just me thinking just about myself, right? So it was more selfish, but it wasn't a big accomplishment for me because I was supposed to do this. Like in order to get to law school, I have to graduate college. So I wasn't, again, because I wasn't done, right? So for me, it wasn't that I wasn't proud of the accomplishment, but I didn't see it from his point of view. I didn't see it from my mom's point of view. I didn't see it from my family's point of view. I just saw it like, yeah, but I'm not done now. So I waited till the last minute to tell him. And I'll never forget that. And I was like, that's when it hit me. Like, hey, man, this ain't just about you. Because my mom and dad, they never graduated. They just went to high school and then they went to the military, respectively. They didn't do the college thing. So it took that moment for me to be like, oh, man, you know, this is a thing. This is a big thing, B. Come on. Come on now. Celebrate this. But again, I wasn't done. But the moment I graduated college from Sam Houston State University in August of 2004. And I spent fall of 2004, spring of 2005, applying to law schools. I applied to either 17 to 19 schools. All of them said no. The reality was my LSAT wasn't that good. I think I got like a 140 or a 141. I didn't really study hard to prep for it. And I wasn't a good test taker, so I had a low LSAT score. LSAT score goes from 120 to 180. Once you started getting to the 160 range, that's the Ivy League schools and stuff like that. I was nowhere near that. And I tried to apply to all these big name schools that I didn't realize were big name. Like, I didn't know Iowa. I didn't think I would have trouble getting into Iowa or Alabama. I knew it wasn't Harvard or Princeton. I thought I'd get into Iowa. Who's going to Iowa? A lot of people are going to Iowa, especially people within Iowa. I was just trying to get to law school, applying everywhere. All of them told me no. So I moved to Las Vegas and I became a parole and probation officer. I did that for a couple years. And then in the spring 2007, a friend of mine, early spring 2007, a friend of mine, Shantae, she called me. She said, "Hey, B, I got into law school. Remember we said we were going to go to law school?" We knew each other from undergrad. And she said, "We're going to go to law school." And that was the catalyst. I said, "Oh, man, I've been messing around. Let me apply." Because she's already in, you know. So she started school in fall of 2007. I started applying again, fall 2007, spring 2008. I applied to 3 or 4 schools this time. I got accepted to all of them. And I started school in fall of 2008 and finished in spring of 2011. And here's what people don't tell you about law school is. It's not done when you graduate. It's done after you take the bar exam. I call it the 3rd semester. So law school is 2 semesters, fall, spring. But your last year, you study for the bar exam. So you graduate on a Friday or Saturday. Literally that Monday, bar study begins. And you study for 10 weeks. Then you take the bar exam. So I call it the 3rd semester. So, and then even then, you're not done. You're not done until you get the bar results, which in Texas doesn't come until November, right? So November 2011 is when I got my bar results, and I was fortunate enough to pass the bar the first time, and the rest is history. But yeah, that's why I became a lawyer. That's how I became a lawyer. That's my story. I don't like when people say, who are lawyers, don't go to law school. Don't go to law school. I hate hearing that. If you want to go to law school, go to law school. What happened to them or their reasoning to why they say what they say might not apply to you, right? If it's something you want to do, do it. You don't got to be the smartest person. You just got to be able to work hard. I was never the smartest person in class. I just, when it got to law school, I worked hard. So if I can do it, trust me. If Brandon Ball can do it, you can do it.